This conference will now be recorded.
Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So that's great. So see here, yesterday we have started the forms and we have seen how to work with the form methods, and then we have seen how to get the data and you can how to add the data sources and all that stuff. So today we will see something big. Okay. I want to begin with the details form master. We have seen what does the details form master contain. So let's build everything for details form master today. Okay. I will create a new form and I will call this form as AMA cost sales. Okay, I'm calling it as AMA cost sales, or if you want to create only for customers, you can do that. That's up to you. Okay, click on the add button. It will add a new screen for us. Oh, sorry, I have added menu item. Okay, let it be there. No worries. Anyways, we need one menu item as well. New item, and then let me go to user interface and then a form. Let me call it as AMA cost sales. Click on the add button. Okay, now you can see by default design is unspecified. And now here, right click and select the design pattern, which will be details form master. Okay, which will be details form master. This is the details master. So now by default, after adding the details master, you can see there are three things which are mandatory: application bar, navigation list, panel tab. And let me add some data sources here. I have the address table, I have the customers table, I have the sales table. Okay, I have three different things. Along with this, I have the sales line. Okay, now let me add all these things to this one. I don't want to leave even a single one. AMA address and then customers. Go to properties. You can see there will be a property called join. Okay, join source. Select address table, and here you can see the link type. This is very interesting property again. In this link type, you have delayed, active, inner join, outer join, exist join, not exist join. Coming to the inner join, outer join, exist join, not exist join, they are same. Okay, even if you are using the joins, they are same here. What is inner join? To get the matching records between both the tables. What is exist join? To return only from the parent table we will use. Okay, to return the data from parent table we will use it. What is outer join? It's a left outer join. Is that right? It's a left outer join. So what does the left outer join does? It will fetch all the data from left join, and similarly not exist to fetch the non-existing records. Now we have one last one called two things. One is called active, and the second one is called active. Okay, so here one is active, one is passive, third one is delayed. See here, there are only minor differences between them. First one is passive. If you use passive, what will happen? You have a parent data source, you have a child data source. Okay, if you use passive, the child data source will not get updated automatically. You need to execute, you need to call the execute query method of it, then only it will get updated. Okay, because a few of the things the people will update the data on the runtime, they will find it's not getting updated automatically. Okay, the reason is with the link type. If you have a parent data source and if you have a child data source, and in your requirement, even when child data source is not updated automatically, you don't have any issues with it, then what you need to do? You need to go with passive, because in case of passive, the linked child data sources are not updated automatically. Okay, you will select the record of the parent data source, but the child data source will not get updated automatically. So what you will say is you will find the same records of the previous one if you use passive. Okay, and the second one is active. This is interesting one. In case of active, it will update the data automatically, but as per the best practice, active is not preferred. Why? because whenever you are updating the parent data source, all the child data sources should get updated. It's going to consume a lot of time. Yeah, a lot of resources are consumed, which is why as you they will say you should not use active all the time unless and until it is mandatory. Okay, and there is one more thing called delayed. If you see here, delayed, active and delayed both will update the child data sources, whereas active will consider it immediately, whereas coming to the delayed, it will insert a pause. Okay, it will insert a small pause. Okay, why to insert the pause? This is again one more question from the people. Why to insert a pause? Because let's say you're trying to navigate the parent data source records fastly. Okay, if you're trying to update the child data sources immediately, then screen might get slowed down. Instead of that, if you insert a small pause, what will happen? To navigate, the navigation would be easier. Okay, the navigation will be easier. To do that, we will use delayed. Okay, so currently I'm setting it to active. Anyways, we have only few records, so active will be enough. Now here, the join source would be AMA customers, and link type would be active. Okay, because joins and passive, even if I show you now, the data will not get displayed here, so I don't want to use it right away. Okay, and then I have the sales line, join source. Okay, but unfortunately you need to observe one thing. Okay, if you want to work with sales table and sales line, you can add them here, but there is one problem. Can anyone tell me what is the problem? Did
Hello, hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. Kumar, sorry, we are not able to, are not audible.
Yeah, we can't hear, Kumar.
Let's ping on WhatsApp. Can somebody ping on WhatsApp?
I'm pinging.
hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, Kumar.
Okay, that's great. I hope you can see my screen as well.
Correct.
Okay, so see here, we were discussing about sales table and sales line. These two are the transaction tables. Okay, so these two are the transaction tables. So if you want to use these transaction tables in the details form master, you can use it. Okay, but if you want to use some transaction tables, we have another pattern called details form transaction. What's the pattern name? Details form transaction. We can use it. Okay, so let me remove them from here, because actually if you want to show in a grid, you can do that, but this is a master code, so which is why I don't want to use them. Okay, this is the details from master, so I have removed them. Okay, whereas if you want to use them in the master, you can do that here. It's again, that's up to you. Please remember. Now the next step. Now we know what is the link type and we have set it up. And now we know what are the properties of the data source. We have seen them already. Okay, so you can use them. And next, now let's go to this pattern. You can see action pane, navigation list, panel tab. There are three things. Okay, there are three things which we need to use. Okay, now let me right click, click on the new button. What is that? Action pane. Okay, this is action pane. I have added it. Okay, let me check whether I can move this somewhere. No, it's not a link. Okay, this is my action pane, and in this action pane, I will go to properties. I will call this as simply action pane. Okay, I will explain you about action pane in detail. Okay, I don't want to go with it now. I will explain you in detail about the action pane later on. Next, you need to create a group control. Now, as the name indicates, it is navigation list. What is navigation list? At the side, if you want to see some data, on the basis of that, if you want to display the records, then you can use this navigation list. So click on the new and then group control. And here it is expecting a quick filter and then a list style grid. Okay, I will call this as navigation list. And then let me go to the preview. Okay, still nothing. And then I have a quick filter. Right click, click on the new and then select the quick filter control. Okay, and for this I will give some good caption. See here, the caption is again an important property. It will display what that particular group is. Okay, so I will call this as navigation list for the sake of understanding, but you need to give the value as per the requirement. If you are showing the customer information, you need to make it customer. If you are showing the address information, you need to make it address. Like that you need to do. Okay, and then now this is my quick filter control. I don't want to change anything. I will simply call it as quick filter. And the next thing I need to add is a grid. Okay, navigation list grid, try to add less number of values to it. Okay, I will go to the customers and then fields. I will simply take the customer ID and then name. I am adding only two details to the navigation list grid, and I will go here and I will call this as customer navigation. Okay, and then 1 second, I'm checking for the data source property. I will set the data source as customers. Save. Okay, and coming to this address, if you want to only use it for display purpose, you can set hello create, no, hello delete, no, hello edit, no. Okay, I am setting everything to no because I don't want to update the address. I want to update only customer information. Done. Next step. Now again go to the pattern. It is expecting a panel tab. Now what we need to do? We need to add the tab. Okay, now you can see it has given one grid for us, navigation list grid. Good. Now let me add a panel tab. Tap. Check where is the tab control. This is my tab control, and you need to call this as panel tab. Now see here, coming to the properties, you can see style. What are the types of tabs you want? But there will be only one tab, so I want to keep it as is. Okay, you can set the style if you want. Okay, but that is not needed in this case. Next, to the tab, you can add any number of tab pages. So I want to add both the tab pages. Please remember, by default, what it has done? It has taken my tab page control as grid panel. Okay, now see the difference. I will create a new tab page. What happened here? If I go to this panel tab, it has taken the control one as details panel. So whenever you have the same type of controls, add all those controls and then start working with the code. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, and in this we have the details panel. This is the details panel. You can call it as details panel. And you can have the caption. Let me set it as details panel. So each tab can have any number of tab pages, but particular to this pattern, it can have only 2 tab pages. Okay, and this is called the next one, the grid panel. Let me call it as grid panel here. This is called grid panel. Okay, and for this grid panel, I will set the caption grid panel. Okay, please remember I am setting these values only for understanding purpose. This is very important. Okay, don't think I am using this for real time. I am using so that you would be able to understand where exactly what is located. Okay, in real time you need to update them with labels with some grid values in multiple languages. Okay, right click. What happened? Okay, click on the new button. You have the group control again. Select the group, and here what is it expecting? It's a custom filter group. You can call it as custom filter, and then I will set the caption custom filter grid panel. Okay, and I will select the pattern, which would be custom and quick filters. This is called sub pattern. Primary pattern, secondary pattern, sub pattern. This is called sub pattern. You need to add a quick filter control. Click on the new button and then select a quick filter control here. Okay, you can see this is a very easy thing. Quick filter grid panel. Okay, now this is done. In the grid panel you need to add a main grid. Click on the new button and you can add a main grid. Where is main grid? Grid. This is my main grid. Okay, and I will call this as customer grid. And here from the table I will take customer ID, and then I will take name, gender, father name, building number, building name. Enough. I will get all these things here done. And for this I will set the data source as AMA customers. Okay, done. Now we are done here. What is the next step? You need to add a button. What is that button? Command button. Okay, that is just you need to add the command button. Okay, in this case there is no need of updating anything here. Okay, just add a command button. That will be enough. Save. Okay, that will be enough. And here if you go to the properties, you have the default action. Here you need to select the command button. Please remember this, because the default action will take you to the details page. From grid page, if you want to navigate to details page automatically, then we need to define the default action button. Okay, otherwise it is not needed. Okay, next I want to add a group, and this group is a title group. Let me call it as title group, and here I will set this to title group. Save. And in this title group you need to define a string control. Okay, see here, everything you can see on the front. Okay, string control, I have defined it. Here you can define some text. I will call this as title group data. This would be good. Okay, I am hard coding everything. Instead of using English, you need to define labels. Please remember. And if you want to, in this title group as well, if you want to display the data dynamically, then you need to use data source or data method. Okay, for example, okay, in the form controls there are different types of form controls. What are those? First one is called bound controls. Bound controls are bound to the database, and then you will use it to fetch the data. Okay, you will use data source to fetch the data. Second one is called unbound controls. What are unbound controls? Unbound controls are not bound to the database. Okay, if you want to show something dynamically, then you can use unbound controls. Third one is called calculated controls. where you will perform some calculation, and then you will display data in it. Those are called calculated controls. So these are the three different types of controls which are available in Dynamics 365. Okay, these are the three different types of controls which are available in Dynamics 365. Okay, I will call it as unbound control. So, and I think we have added some text, title group data, done. Now the next step, you need to add one more tab here to this tab page. Click on the new and then add a tab control. Okay, and in this you can add any number of tab pages. Let me add 1, 2, 3, 4. I am adding 4 tab pages. Okay, and here I will call this tab as, what do you want to call this tab? This is called details tab, and this is my first tab page. And for this first tab page I will call it as customer data, and here I will specify the pattern. Okay, and I will take fields and field groups. Okay, now see here as well you have different types of patterns. In these patterns, dimension entry control and dimension expression builder, they are used only when you are working with finance module, and that too when you have customizations. And if you ask me, have you ever used dimension control in my career, I will simply say only at one point of time I have used segmented entry control. And segmented entry control, you will not have requirement here and there. There will be only very few customers where you will have that requirement. Okay, and you will find this in the accounts ledger. Okay, because whenever you are working with the ledger, how you will write here? You will have dimensions. How many dimensions will you have? You will have different dimensions. Okay, they will say I never write the ledger book, but let's say they will say, for example, service account, and in this service account they will split it into one more part. Let's say it's a regular service, like that. And then like this, what they will do is, if you have the amount, they will split that amount into multiple parts, and to identify it easily in the ledger, what they will do, they will add it in that fashion. Okay, one second, I want to check something in the front end. If it is available, I will show you ledger dimensions. Okay, one second, let us see that once. You will have main accounts and then sub accounts, and each sub account you will have we will split into different splits again. Okay, those are used for calculation purpose. Yeah, later on, let's say when you are trying to find what is the revenue, what is the profit, what is the loss, and how much you have spent on what things, to identify all these things we will use this ledger accounts. Okay, let me go to the general ledger module. Let me check. Yeah, this is the module, and you should see something called ledger dimensions. Can you see them? Ledger dimensions or something like that. One second, let me use this search page. I want to search for dimensions. Just a second. Okay, cost accounting dimensions. Okay, it's there here. General ledger chart of accounts. This one, financial dimensions. Let me open these financial dimensions, because whenever you are working with the dimension, we will use the financial controls itself. Okay, now these are the financial dimensions. In this you can see we have the ledger account, sorry, we have the agreement, we have the bank account, we have the business unit, campaign, cargo. What they have done is they have defined different types of dimensions here. Okay, now let me go and check the dimension values. Okay, oh, it's bad. I thought there should be something for, okay, let me check for bank account. No. Oh no, yeah. Actually, this should be there, but in this it's not there. Okay, they have defined somewhere else in Dynamics 365. Okay, let me do one thing. I will check and I will show you that. Okay, because actually when you are working with ledger dimensions, now it should show. It will show in a different pattern. It will show in a different pattern. What are the dimensions that are available? There we will use the dimension entry control. Okay, when you are defining the when we are defining the ledger dimensions, then we will use the dimension entry control. Give me a second. Let me check for one last time whether it is available in Dynamics MSDN. Ledger account combinations. Just a second. I want to check once the main accounts. Oh no, I need to go here. Good. Actually, if you see here, na, these are the main accounts. But unfortunately, in Dynamics 365, whatever the pattern that they are showing has been changed. Okay. So whatever, how they are showing the values, that got changed in Dynamics 365. Whereas in case of AX 2012, this used to be in a different way. Okay. So here I think the values that we see will be in a different fashion. Because whatever we have done is, we have checked the dimensions. Okay. So here, whenever we are working with this, the first thing that will be divided as the dimensions. So in these dimensions, we will see the different set of accounts. Okay, now you have this many things here, but whatever the dimensions you want to define, is not suitable in Dynamics 365. Is not suitable. You want to define a new account structure. Okay, you want to create a new account structure. Then what we will do? Then we will use a control called dimension entry control. What's the control name? Dimension entry control. Okay, and the dimension entry control, we will be using the similar control in AX 2012. We used to call it as a segmented entry control. What is that? Segmented entry control. Okay, and again, that's the financial thing. I don't want to go with the financial internals anymore. Okay, but please remember this: the dimension entry control will be used only when we are customizing the general ledger. And coming to the customizations on general ledger, it will be very, very rare scenario, because by default there are 32 or something dimensions. Okay, that's in AX 2012. I think it is same in D365 as well. Okay, so you can use all of them. And if you want, you can create a new dimensions and then you can add them. Okay, now here in the sub patterns, if you see the dimensionality control, the dimension, and then we have a fields and field groups. Here, if you want to add some information in the form of a fields, you can see you can add a field group, you can add a field, you can add an actionable field. 0 to n means either you can add or there is no need of adding them. Okay, now what I will do is I will go to the address table and I will get all the information from these fields. I will select everything, table ID, rec ID, partition. I will remove this. I will drag and drop to this one. Done. Now the next one. Okay, this tab, for this I think I have given some good caption. No, let me give it as cust address data. Okay, and I have the second tab. Now let me, 1 second, it's loading. Apply the sub pattern, and here we have the fields and field groups. If you want to have some text field and you want to add only text to it, then we will use field text. If you want to show the image, then we will use image. And this list panel, suppose for example you want to have 2 list boxes or 1 list box and you want to display some information in it, then we will use the list panel. Here we have the fields, there is no list. And if you want to have a simple list and details form embedded into your details master, then we will use nested simple list and details. And if you want to have the fields in a tabular fashion, we will go with tabular fields. And we have toolbar and fields. If you want to have a toolbar at the top, action pane at the top, then we will use this. Okay, but if you want to add this, let me add the action pane and let me add the group and then show you, because here it works in a different fashion. Let me add the action pane, and then it is expecting a group control. Right click, and then you can add a new and then a group control. Now, okay, this is good. For this group control, it is expecting the sub pattern. Click on the apply pattern. Again, you can add fields and field groups. Okay, this is how it works. If you want to have action pane on your tab page, then we will use this one. Okay, I will call this as action pane, and oh, it's already given. I can say action pane 1. Here I will say action pane toolbar, and then here this is the fields and field groups. You can use this and you can add some data here. I will add the data from customer table, some few fields. 1 second. Let me go to customers. Let me add building name, building number, credit points. Like this, you can add whatever the data you want here. You can add whatever the data you want. And this is one more pattern. Right click. Okay. Here, if you want to apply the toolbar and list, you can apply. Or if you want to use the custom pattern, you can use it. Okay. I am using custom pattern. I will add some more fields here. In this custom pattern, you can add whatever you want. If you want to add a grid, you can add. If you want to add a table, you can add. You can add whatever you want in the custom pattern. I think I have added up to landmark. So I will take all the other fields into this one. Done. This is about a details form master, and this is how we are going to use it. Now, if you go to preview, now you can see how the data will get displayed. You have the address data, and then you have, oh, I have not given the names to it. 1 second. Details tab, and then you can go to this one. There is no caption. Set the caption called customer info 1, and then go to this one. You can call it as customer info 2. Go to this one. You can call it as customer info 3. Like this, if you want to add a grid and if you want to show the transaction information, You can add one more tab and then you can add a grid and then you can show it. That's also possible. You can show the transactional data as well in the same screen, but it is not recommended. Okay, done. This is about the details form master. Now let me save everything. And then if you expand this, now let me get this down. You can see how this will look like. Customer info 2, how this will look like. Like this, you can see all the screens, how they will look. Okay, and if you go to the top, now you can select the title group. This is the title group. Details panel, this is the whole details panel. Okay, this is the grid panel. It will not show. We can see that in the front end. Okay, now one more thing we will do is, this is the details funnel tab page, and you can see style, details from grid, details from lines. Okay, now from the style, if you select the grid, you need to use the grid. Extended style, 1 second. In this extended style, you have different types of styles here: panorama, dashboard, wizard, setup page, like this. Okay, if you want to apply the extended style, you can add it. Okay, that's all. You can try them out. And now this is the details tab. Here the style is fast tabs. Let me update it to vertical tabs, and let me save this. Can you save this? These are called vertical tabs. If you want to get in this form, you can use this. And no, you don't like this. You have panorama tabs. Save. These are called panorama tabs. All the tabs will be displayed. Okay. And if you want to have a drop list, you can have a drop list. Okay. Now you can see here we have the address data. And if you select customer info, you'll get customer info. Like this, it will take. Okay. Like this, it is going to take. And similarly, if you set it to fast tabs, again it will go to fast tabs. Now some places address is good. In the customer info, you can see here building name, building number. Third one, you don't have anything here. I think that is credit points. Now what you need to do, you need to add the label. So what I will do is, I will go to this toolbar and fields. I think credit points. I will go to label here, because at the form data source field level as well, you will have the label. You can set it here. If you set it here, this will be applied only to this specific form. If you apply the label at the form data source field level, it will be applied only to this specific form. Can you see this? This is how we can update the labels in the screen. Okay, this is how you can update the labels in the screen. Okay, you can add, it is same again, you can add different languages, whatever you want, you can do with these labels. Okay, now what we will do is, we will open this from the front end and we will see. Okay, I will create a new menu item, the display menu item. Right click on the add button, new item, and then a display menu item, and we will call it as AMA customers. Click on the add button. We got it ready. Go to properties, form. I will set the object name as AMA custom sales here, and I will call this as customer details. Save and go to this one, and we have a menus. I will open this menu and I will create one more sub menu. I will call this as common. Go to properties, label, you can set it to common, and sub menu you can call it as common, and then you can go to solution explorer, drag and drop the customers. Save. Okay, now do a rebuild. Once the build is finished, we will get back again.
Just a doubt. For example, we have created a label for any name, like customer name, and later on we want that to be customer names, like some changes into that one. So can we make those changes in the existing one, or we need to create a new one?
You can choose that. You can do that. You need to simply open the label file, and then in the label file you need to update the label.
Okay, that can be done.
Let it open the dashboard. In Dynamics 365, Forms are very simple. Okay. Only one thing you need to understand is how to work with them. That is the important point here. Because
We need to. It will take time for us to say it's easy.
Sorry, come again.
It will take time for us to say it's easy.
Uh, it will take time. You need to practice. If you practice more, it will be easy. Otherwise, it will become hard. Okay. If you don't practice, everything will become hard. Yes. Because you know, the sessions how they will go is we have discussed the fundamentals and then we move to the tables. From tables, we have seen all the up to advanced things. We have seen everything. Now from tables again we went to forms. Okay. Within coming, I think next week, Wednesday or Thursday, mostly we will move on to the reports or data entities. So what will happen is you are going to learn a lot of topics in these 45 days. Okay. Because previously when we used to take the sessions, the live sessions, we used to take for 3 to 4 months. That's the least case. 3 to 4 months we used to take the sessions, including Sundays it used to be. But unfortunately, when we came to Dynamics 365, a lot of people, they have asked only one thing: can we finish off the sessions in 20 days? Okay, can we finish off the sessions in 20 days? This is what I got the question. I told them it will take nearly 3 months or 4 months. So no one is ready for that. Okay, the same sessions, if I plan for 3 months, from you people as well, I can see only 1 or 2% might be, because 3 months is very long duration, which is why everyone said we want it to be reduced, the duration. Okay, so which is why we were discussing in this fashion. Otherwise, it will go in a different way, because in the live sessions it used to go in a different way, because only for explaining this details from master or the list page, when we are discussing this, it used to take around 2 days. Whereas coming to the same details master, when we are discussing the online sessions, it used to take around 1 hour or 45 minutes, something like that. Okay, that is how it will change. And now you can see here, let's go to the shopping management system, and I have the common tab, menu, customer details. Well, let's see whether it opens or whether it throws any error. Okay, good. Oh, we have only one customer. It's very bad, yeah. And that too, you can see, I'm not able to say click it. Okay, I'm not able to click anything, because when it is a customer details master, now what should happen? I should be able to open the details page. I can see only grid page here. What is this? What is going wrong? Okay, let's get back and check. There are a few things. Now I will change. Okay, first of all, I will go to this cost sales. I will bring this down. In the customers, I will go to properties. I am removing this joint source, and then I am setting this link type to active only. I will go to address, joint source, customers. I will set active. Okay, this is one change that I have done. And the second change is I will go to the table, open. I will go to the properties. I want to see the primary index is customer IDX. Good. And next, there is one more property that I need to modify. I don't remember that. 1 second. Okay, this is good. Design. Those are not the designs. Default action is set to command. Design caption, that's not needed. One more property, not record action. Grid. Default action command. Okay, at the grid level, I am setting the default action. Now let me do a rebuild. Actually only grid level, if you change the property, that should be enough. the default action, I will forget always the default action. Seems like build is completed. Just a second. Yeah. Remember, in the action pane, I have not added any menus. So you can see only new, edit, delete, and options. Okay. You can add any number of menus we want. I will show you how to add them later on. Because for action pane, I want to take a separate session. Instead of combining everything here, I want to take a separate session. We can add the buttons, we can add the button groups, we can add menu by item button. There are a lot of things. We can add the drop dialog. There are a lot of things that we can do with the action pane. I don't want to mix up things and confuse. Okay, I'm opening the customer details. Let it open. Now can you see here? This is the difference. I got now this in the blue color. Why I got in a blue color? Because of default action. Now if I select this blue color, it will open a details page. Okay, here you can see customer info. Here you can see customer info. The address, which is not editable, and then customer info 1, customer info 2, customer info 3. And you can see here list. There are 2 customers. This is the navigation list. If you change the data in the navigation list, you will see changes here. Can you see this? This is because active. If you set it to passive, it will not change. Remember, okay? Because 90% of the times people used to do that mistake. Done. This is about a details master. And in details master, there is one more thing we are left with. In case of other screens, you have seen some related information here. Is that right? This is a filter again. Here we have created this filter as well from our end. And the custom filter, you can see we have added the default customer ID. If you want to add one more, you can add any number of filters. Okay. If you don't add, you will not get this here. You need to add this filter as well. Okay. By default, we have added customer ID, so we are getting customer ID. And there is one more thing called related information. Here we are not getting it here. Why? Why we are not getting it? We have not added any parts here. So let me do one thing. Let me create one more form. Click on the add button, new item, and then I will call this as AMA fact box. I will call this as AMA fact box. And this is my fact box. I will apply some pattern here. Apply the pattern, form part, fact box, grid. Okay, it is expecting a grid. Now what I will do is I will take the sales orders as the data source here, sales table, and I will add a grid. Click on the new button and then add a grid control. Here expand the sales table. You have the customer ID, order status, sales ID, total amount. Drag and drop to the grid. Go to the grid and set the data source as, where is the data source here? Let me set this data source as sales table. Save. Done. In the design, I will set the caption as fact box. Done. Okay, I am done now. Now I will go to Solution Explorer and I will create a new menu item. Click on the add button, new item, and I will call this as display menu item, and I will call this as again AMA fact box. It has added. I will go to properties. I will update the object to AMA fact box. Save. Generally in fact box we will not show this kind of information, but what we will do is if there is some small information to be shown, okay, For example, total amount or total amount. Already I have the total amount in the sales table, which is why I bought it. But if you want to show the information like aggregations, like that stuff, we can use the fact box. Otherwise, if you have some small set of information, like I have currently, which is from sales table, you can use the fact box. Label, I will set it to fact box. Save, done. Now I will go to my customer sales here. I will add a new form part reference. I will go to properties, and you can see the menu item name. Let me set it to AMA fact box, and I should have a is linked data source. I have a data source customers. I have a data source relation which is sales table customer. I will simply call it as fact box. And you can see the part location. This part location you can either set in the preview pane or in the auto. Okay. And now let's see where it is located. Oh, it's not displaying. No worries. Let's see how it is work, because action pen I have not tried up to now. So I want to try action pen as well one time. Let's see. Okay. Let me do a rebuild. I used to always keep it auto. This is the first time I am applying preview pane. Let's see how it works, because I haven't seen that preview pane on the details master up to now. In all the details master, I saw the fact boxes only. So I would like to just check whether it is getting displayed in the preview pane or not. Okay. You know, if you see this best practices, 90% of the best practices will be from labels. You can see label is text, label is text, label is text, label not defined, label not defined. Okay. Everywhere you will see labels only. Generally, what we will do is in the fact box, we will try to check. Suppose if I click that, so what are the invoiced sales orders for that customer today? Like that, if you want to check the information, then you can use that fact box. If you want to display some preview information, which is non-editable, then we will use the fact box.
So to show the detail in the fact box about the outstanding invoice or credit amount, do we need some grouping coding relation, or it will get by default?
You can use a simple AOT query here.
We need to attach that query.
Yes, you need a simple AOT query and then you can get it. No, it's not showing in the preview pane. Don't know why. Seems like they have not added that preview pane. Very bad. Let me change it to auto itself. I think still we are not getting that preview pane. Let me make it auto and run local. Yeah, this should be auto. And let me play it. Let me do a rebuild. And mostly, I think if you are using the list page form pattern, then if you apply the fact box, then it might show the preview pane. Because generally preview pane is with list pages and details forms as well, but it is not showing. Let's see. I will check that anyways. Because in AX 2012, we will get it directly. In Dynamics 365, it's not showing. Can we go for reports after forms? I heard data analytics is an easy topic. Let's finish all main topics first. And someone replied, Kamal, let's finish forms first. Okay. And let me open the front end. And there is a lot of time, because next whole week we will be discussing the form extensions and then class extensions, and then we will move on to the next topic. Okay, I am not going to the reports or the data entries very soon. I want to finish the extension concepts as well, because that would be easier for you, and if you are working on the Dynamics 365 now, that would be useful. I'm getting a lot of noise here from someone. I'm muting everyone. Okay, now let me go to shopping management system back again and customer details. Okay, now you got the related information, and in the fact box you can see the sales orders. Can you see this? Invoiced, invoiced, packet. Like this it will display, and the total amount. Similarly, if you change it, this will also get changed. This is how we work with details from master. In case of Dynamics 365, we are not going to use list page, and we are going to use only details from master. Okay, here actually you can create a new record, whatever you want, you can do that. You can edit a record, the existing record, you can do all those things. Okay, this is possible. You can see here, you can do that. Okay, yeah, now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries up to now.
Kumar, active and delays. So what are the cases where when we need to use active?
uh, if you have small amount of data, then even if you use active, it does not matter. If you have more amount of master data, which this should be displayed on multiple data sources. Okay, in my case, even if I use active, it doesn't matter, because I have only 10 or 20 records. Let's say if you have some 1 lakh records, then if you are using active, you will find a glitch when you are moving during the data movement. At that point, we will go for delete.
So better to use delays always.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, any other queries?
Actually, I would prefer to go with detailed sessions. Like you have mentioned that previously it was going for 3 months or 4 months.
That's a different case again.
Yes, I
Okay,
understand. But I'm
that
mentioning
case
that.
currently, that case is gone, because that is the case of live sessions. Okay,
Yes.
in case of live sessions,
No, I
then
just mentioned that if you are working on live environment, then every point mentioned by you
no,
during.
not on the live environment. I mean to say live means we used to take sessions on the class. Okay, at that time we used to have around 25 or 30 students per batch.
Okay.
We used to come to the institute and then we used to take the sessions. That was the case. Whereas later on, currently, if few people, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around 7 people. Okay, if I ask you 7 people to come there, I don't know whether you will be able to come there or not, because few of them will be from Bangalore, few of them will be from, and I can say Hyderabad, few of them might be from Delhi, and few of them might be from somewhere else. Okay.
Yes.
So which is why this is how it was changed.
But
And now as well, we are ready to take. We told him the same thing, but due to this COVID situation, again, we are not going for that sessions itself.
yes, of course. So, but in your sessions, you are going to cover each and every important topic.
Each and every topic will be covered here. There is no change in the syllabus. Okay.
Right.
There is no change in the syllabus. Even if it is 3 months or even if it is this one, there will be no change in the syllabus. The only difference is the change you will come at the pace. Okay. At some point, it will be wherever the topics are very important, I will go in a slow pace. For example, if you see tables, I took nearly more than 10 days or 15 days only for tables because those are very, very important. There is a foundation. Whereas coming to the forms, usually this details form master, if you see, we went on a somewhat fast pace. Okay, it's not very fast or it's not slow. It will move in a faster pace. This is how the things will happen because you will have the recordings and you can look at it. Whereas coming to the live sessions, there will be no recordings.
Okay.
Got it? You got
Yes,
the point. Yes. Coming to the live sessions, there will be no recordings. If I go in this space on the live session, you know what will happen?
Everything will go from
mind immediately. Okay.
Yes, yes.
No one will be able to understand that. Whereas coming to this space, here you're seeing it on the live, and then again you will go and watch back the videos multiple times, and you will be able to see that. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Whereas in
Thank
the
you.
live sessions, that is not going to happen. Which is why in the live session it will go in a different way. Whereas if I go for the relations it used to take around 3 days in the live sessions. Whereas coming to the delete actions, the delete actions used to take 2 days. Okay, because each and everything that should be explained for all the 20 or 25 people in such a way that it should reach them without again, because there will be no possibility of rechecking back again. That would be a difficult thing when you go for the live sessions. Okay, it's similar to your college or school. You will not have any videos.
Yes, yes.
When you're studying in the school and college, there will be no videos. You need to read from the books. That would be very difficult. So which is why the session goes in a different way. Whereas coming to the live session, online sessions, the sessions goes in a different way. And I can tell you a few of the people, they used to ask for the weekend batches. Okay, they used to ask 2 weekends and then 32 hours, they want to get everything covered. This used to happen when we go with the US batches. We used to do that. Okay, we used to take in a different fashions. Yes.
Okay.
Any other queries? Okay, if there are no other questions, if you're okay, I'm okay to take sessions on Sundays as well. What do you think?
No, Kumar.
Okay, all right.
Need to
Okay,
practice.
Need
to practice.
Okay, you can practice tomorrow. So if you can ping me any point if you have any questions. Okay. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again on Monday same time. Thank you all. Bye.